Hello, me lovelies. Well, the event of the year is here. The event of the decade, the event of the century is here.
Thanks.
Humble Dryer is going to be opening himself to probing. If anyone wants to give Humble a good probe, and just go ahead. No questions are being banned. And just say a few hellos. Hello, Kelsey. Hope you enjoyed your show the other night. Um, hello, Rob. Hello, Benjamin. Hello, E-Bike. So anyway, what I was going to do, I'll tell you, but I couldn't get my headphones on with it. I was going to wear that in honour of you.
Well, thank you.
A red wig.
I'm actually
But
feeling a bit jealous right now because you went out with Video Craig and you stood us up before we went away.
no, I didn't stand you up. No, I'm not going to say publicly what happened there. You know what happened, talking to the enemy.
I know.
Talking to the enemy. But anyway, yeah, it was nice meeting up with Craig. It's nice to see people actually in reality, but
Yeah.
so it was interesting. So I've said to him, when the house is, it should only take a couple of more months to get this house sorted. He can come down for him and Chrissy for one of my famous 5-course meals that I do. I would do
No,
a big
it's
5-course.
good. When I went down and met Video Craig and Chrissy, when I done the podcast with him, I mean, it's like everybody else. I say, when you meet us in real life, we'll know who you see in YouTube. A certain bit of us, what character is, but that's
well, the thing it is, because you're sitting right next to someone and you're looking right into their eyes, you're not looking into a camera.
Yeah.
It's a completely different experience, and you get more of a feeling for the person. Are you, Kate? Are you, Rob?
I'm just going to have a wee look in the chat quickly, Anne. I'm listening.
Yeah, that's
hello,
fine.
Rob. Hello, Rob.
I'm just going to be... Oh, just to talk about when we're waiting for people to come up with questions. I say people, any questions, whether you're a friend or foe, you can ask a question. Just be word it nicely so I can put it up there. If you use any curse words or anything like that, I can't put it up.
And doesn't allow smoking on a live, so I'm going to turn the camera and do something a cigarette.
He says that putting the cigarette up. It's not that I don't allow it. Doesn't bother me. YouTube doesn't like it apparently, but I don't mind. It's like people. They'll light up and they'll say, "Oh, you're all right," because they'll know my next smoke. And I'll say, "I'm all right. I'm fine." Smoke. I don't preach to other people. I gave up basically because I had to.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me. I don't look down on smoke, as I said.
Do you still miss a cigarette, Anne?
No, thank God. That's why someone can light up in front of me and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't crave it. But anyway, touch wood, famous last words, that isn't it? Are you Miss M? Are you Trap Mafia? Do you know what? Funny that I'll just say something that's waiting for people to come up with questions, right? Mafia, do you know the first word you've got on your name there? I actually got a warning and it's still on my YouTube account because I used the word TRAP. Can you believe that? TRAP. And what it was, I nearly said it again. What it was, it means in the LGBTQI community, what TRAP means is someone that can be that convincing passing as a woman that a heterosexual man would be fooled. And I got that. I actually got a thing you're warning on my channel for that, the only warning I've ever got. And I went mad and said, that's the words we use in the LGBTQI community. I said, how dare you? But you know what they're like in appeal, they just don't listen. It depends what.
See, I get confused with all one because LGBT, I know what that is, but there's that many other things.
There's loads now, loads. It does get confused. I get confused with sometimes some things. I don't know what they're going on about to come up with these, and I can't get used to this. The they, them, and all that business. That just sounds so weird to me. But anyway, anyone got any questions? Because it's going to be a bit of a.
I need to hide for some of them.
Yeah, but anyone just any questions you've got to ask. Anyway, I can't believe Humble's connection hasn't gone. Get your questions in for Humble's guys. And
my connection will not go. It will not go, and if it does, I'll be straight back in. As I said last night, if I didn't have my phone in my hand and it was a computer, I'd have sat back and I'd have made sure that my hands could be seen. But I was obviously trying to push him further back, so but obviously his hand keeps slipping. It's got a habit of slipping into it.
Oh, did you know what? I just thought, let's talk about Decker because I might as well talk about it until some questions come in. Right, you know, this Decker thing, and it was obvious, it was bleeding obvious he cut you off. You could see exactly what it was doing. But it's this consistent lying. Now he's done it to Matt Legg. He's turned around and said that Matt Legg, he was making out that he couldn't see his face, and Matt Legg filmed himself. He's just brazenly lying now. This is him thinking he's getting revenge, but he's proven what people are saying. You can't trust a word out of his mouth. He's a liar. And that's what he's showing up now.
Yeah, this is the thing, man. It's like last night, I mean, I thought he was going to be starting at 4 o'clock, so I'd actually set a reminder for 3:45, and then I got a message for a couple of people about 10 to 4 saying he's live now. He's been live for ages. In fact, Exposure phoned me, that's what it was. He went, he's live right now. And I went, he said he wasn't going live to 4 o'clock. He went, no, he's obviously pulled a trick.
Yeah, he's
so I'm like, I need to go. So I'm like, he's never got to let me on, but he's shouting me out. But anyway, I didn't know that NFG and all that had been on. I didn't hear any of them. I went on. I was backstage for literally maybe a minute, and the next thing you had me on, and I was kind of flabbergasted because I've waited in 4 years. I was trying to get live on Facebook with him and everything when I was anonymous. I was willing to put my face out there. In 2019, he wouldn't have it.
He's playing games with you, but the thing is, he doesn't realise when he thinks it's so funny, he's actually given the ammunition right there to say, yeah, you know, you're a liar. Where's my screen gone? Oh, wait a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Here we are.
I can still see him.
Yeah, it's just that my computer screen suddenly went black. Ayamoto. So, yeah, it's just where he's proven it now and people are showing up to be live. But when he said, you know, you go to the X at the top of the screen, now I don't know whether he's doing it from his phone. He might be. No, he can't be because he actually
he's using a laptop and
well, if you go to the top and hit the X, if I was to do that now at the top of the screen, as he said, I'd close the whole StreamYard down. I wouldn't just knock you out. You have to go to the bottom. For people who don't use StreamYard, what I've got at the bottom left-hand side is me and Humble in small boxes. And if I want to get rid of Humble off, I have to go down to the small box on the left and remove him that way.
That'd be how his hand come up to the left. Because I wonder why his hand did come up for the left. That must be why, because he was on the laptop.
You go to the left, and that's how you do it. So he's not alive there, because if he hits the X at the top, which he was saying, it would end the live straight away. So he's just a bleeding liar.
And the fact that when he put me backstage again, I knew he was going to do that at some point, so I was recording it. But the only thing is, when you're backstage, you can't hear the sound, so I had to then go back, cut his video out, then cut. So I tried to fit it in, so it showed him still talking over the top of me and me still backstage.
How the hell he expected people to believe that you, who've been pursuing him for 4 years, trying to get it live with him, would suddenly say, "Oh, I'm not going to do it now." You're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. But let him carry on to his lives. But I wish Matt had not done that today. Matt doesn't need to give him the attention. Matt's got a big channel. He's getting loads of views, Matt. Why is he giving Decker the attention?
I think Matt will deal with a lot of genuine sufferers of mental health, where he'll be confidentiality will be there. I reckon Matt will give a lot of guidance to a lot of people in the background that we'll never know about. And I think, to be honest, that maybe Matt's channel doesn't need it. You're correct, 100%. But sometimes we need somebody like Matt who's got genuine subscribers there, who listen to what he's got. He's well respected within the boxing world and out within the boxing world. I mean, he doesn't need it, but sometimes we need somebody like Matt.
He's a powerful voice. Here we are, Joe Lindsay. Now, I know you've told this before. Humble, is there old history with you and Derek? So go over quickly. I know it's a long story, but go over quickly how you first realised there was something not right here, because you used to follow him, didn't you?
Yeah, I followed him on Facebook in 2018, And I've never met him. Donna's never met him. None of my family's ever met Decca Heggie, ever. And it was Facebook. I followed him on Facebook for a short time, and I was commenting and supporting him when he claimed he was getting trolled with Danny Christie, who was known as Danny Jackson back then. And it was videos that the Real Fight Club was putting up. I didn't like Danny Christie when I first seen him, and I started supporting Decca. But Decca, looking back, hindsight's a great thing. Decca was actually asking us, his fans, to go on the attack at Danny Christie. Yeah, and I got a phone call from somebody who's never on or never comments on anything. I got a phone call from him saying, I see you commenting Decca Heggie, can just watch him. He stayed over Whitehaven Way for a while, and he caused a lot of devastation that the guy wouldn't tell me personally about, because he knew one of his alleged victims, and it was very messy, and that kind of put my guard up a wee bit. And then I asked him why he wasn't just going in, if he was a governor, why he wasn't just meeting this Danny Christie, having a square go with him, sorting out, and he just hit me with a load of abuse. His fans hit me with a load of abuse on Facebook, and then that was basically the kind of start of it for me. He basically, his supporters, and that, basically I felt kind of, well, maybe a bit gay saying I felt bullied, but kind of if I was somebody that took offence to that, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to teach you a lesson here. And I basically started a Facebook page up, and I just started giving him what he was giving other people. And then all the stories come flooding in, and the rest is history. I went and got a Clare's Lowdown on him. And everything that come back was actually flabbergasted me more than anything, because I expected it to be bad, but nothing like as bad as it was. You guys don't know half of it. And that's the sad thing. Gateway for Women in Carlisle's got at least 6 people, all with the same textbook stuff. You've got alleged victims in Scotland, 2 or 3. You've got alleged victims in Manchester. You've got them in London. I don't know mention any more, because at the end of the day, it can jeopardise things, but you don't know half of it. Yeah, when I say he's a 21st century Jimmy Savile, he's worse than Jimmy Savile.
Well, Billy's got a question here. Humble, what's the end game with Paddy?
The end game with Paddy, good question. Paddy Conroy, right now I feel like I'm taking on Decca for the first time. And again, I supported Paddy. I was a fan of Paddy. I liked his charisma. I liked his humour. And then I started to see something that wasn't just quite right for an old school villain. The end game for Paddy Conroy is just to prove that I'm no lying and he is. And then basically that's it. I mean, Paddy admits to lying about things, except when it comes to these murders, but he there's no shred of evidence out there that he's ever been framed for these murders. He can't produce any evidence. And his fingers are very, very dirty. Very, very dirty. Very, very, very dirty. If you want to know who the real Winterhill gang is, ask Paddy.
Here's Mr. No Show, right, with a question. Mr. No Show. I hope you made a very quick recovery walking through that glass door, didn't you, Simon? Anyway, right. Question for both of you. I have just put my acro. Was that a good or a bad move? I suppose if you... I don't know. Yeah, but well, that's what Decca's going to ask for, isn't he? So I suppose, yeah, it's a good move, because then
it's a good move and a bad move, Simon. Because the way I see it is, you're not proclaiming to be a mental health ambassador. You've not been on ITV News claiming to be a mental health ambassador and getting Borders News behind you. You've no claim to be a mental health professional. So yeah, unless you're claiming to be these things and giving out mental health advice, and somebody you've got all these allegations, you know, he should be the one proving his innocence. But he unfortunately for Decca, he can't prove he's innocent, because it's simply not there. It's not some mad guy from Scotland saying he's a significant risk to women and children. It's not a guy from Liverpool saying it. It's the authorities up and down the country who, if you've got a kid and you date him and the police get wind of it, you'll get 2 opportunities: remove him, or they will remove your kids. That's how severe it is. That's how severe it is.
But I know, Dingo. Well, Miss M, this is it. What Miss M's just said. That, you know, Simon has not got in to prove. But the thing is, Decca, takes one, by putting it up there, it takes one bit of ammunition away from him, because what he's saying now is everyone should show there, which in a way, why shouldn't he say that? Because he's being hounded for this. Of course, he's got the right, but he forgets you have had your scene. I'm not going to lie, and you know this, and everyone knows this. I'm not going to lie for you or anyone else. Am I humble? No way.
No, you're not. No, and I would never ask you to, Anne. I would never ask anything. I don't know what to lie for me.
I saw your acro. Fine.
Both. Two of them.
Both of them. Brilliant. There's nothing on there about any, let's say, domestics or anything towards children. I've also got Video Craig's acro, which I've never spoken about, wouldn't speak to you or anyone else about, even when me and Craig weren't talking, because I don't do that to people. It's crappy, and I never do that. And that's said in private, If someone sends me something unsolicited, then I'd say, if I was angry with them, I'd say, yeah, well, I'll talk about that now. But when it's an agreement that it's never to be spoken about, no matter what happens, I'll never speak about it. Because to me, it's like, it's when people do that in the chat, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. A lot of people, when someone does that, even though you don't like the person they're attacking, when they come out with personal conversations that were at the time, the agreement was they weren't to be made public. Don't you get the feeling that the person who's doing it is nasty and not to be trusted? That's what I think.
I think when the confidentiality is broke, and it's broke. I mean, some folk could say I broke it, but at the end of the day, I've been pushed into a corner where I've been left no other opportunity. I've had to, like the person that's going to the pizza face. I had to put her voice note. Giving everybody her password to get into her Facebook, and she deleted messages. I was left with no other opportunity. Put all the messages out with none deleted to show everybody. I mean, that's when it's broken that way. That's, you know, that you have to defend yourself when it comes to stuff like that. But there's a lot. I mean, you could imagine if for 3 years I've spoken to a lot of people on YouTube, big names and all the rest of it, and I mean, some of them I maybe not speak to today, but that doesn't mean I'm going to share personal information that we had with each other, because again, if it's gone, it's gone.
Just let's say something here, because this is interesting. Thank you for that, Spooky, because I was thinking of this when I heard him saying it. Decker was saying his driving offence is not on the acro because it's pending. Now, I might be wrong here. But I'm pretty sure it can appear on us.
It's on his acro. Sure. It's on his 55 pages. It's there. I was actually going to bring it with me tonight, but I can't get my bloody phone charged up.
Because when he said that, I thought I've seen acros with pending charges on them. They've been on them. So
mine's has got one pending on. So that's a prime example.
There we are. I waited for you to say that because I didn't say it, that you have got a pending one on there. But I didn't want to blast it out in case you didn't want people to know that.
No. At the end of the day, as a driving charge, you're pending. That's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pending and it's there. And I know his is there as well. And I knew tonight, like last night, folk would say, Ken, what was your goal last night? Well, my goal was he was going to admit to making the video about the 11-year-old. So that had been NFA'd on his 37 pages. What page is it on, Derek? Because I know it's on page 43 or 44 of his 55. So I knew he was never going to be able to answer what page that was on. And that's where I wanted to catch him last night. That was my,
that's definitely, get this, people, pending will, because I've seen it on John's. That's why I said, I'm sure that you can. Because it's got on here a pending one that's still got to be heard. So definitely it does come on here. But just to say to Tia Louise, who's not sure what an acro is, before we ask Mohammed's question, what an acro is, if you literally think of something, if you've ever been charged with an offence or you've gone to court, if you've ever been in prison or anything, you'll find it on your acro. In other words, all offences you've committed will be on your acro. So it's like a list of all your charges, all your convictions and all that business. That's what, and NFAs as well, no further actions, which Decker is paranoid about being shown, and this is the big argument. 100%. NFAs, no further actions, that's the one he's paranoid. And the thing is, why it's important is because if you have loads and loads of NFAs, but they're all similar in what they're saying, and it's different people saying who aren't connected to each other. You've got to think there's something going on here. It's just that the police haven't had the evidence to be able to prosecute, or there's something more sinister going on. There's a deal striking going on between them. But Mohammed's just asked this: why do you think Egg Chapo went to the Pirates when he knew he was live casting for clout? I don't know what that's about, but you'll know, won't you?
Sorry, say it again. Is it Egg Chapel?
Egg Chapo went to the Pirates where I know he's talking about now, when he knew he was live.
I think basically he's coked out his head, to be honest, because no thinking straight, because nobody's going to go there that's thinking straight and tell people they're renowned for digging things up, and there was going to be things happening in the next day or two. Wait and see this, and then go out and video with his own voice. I don't know. I'll never have the answer to that. Maybe if they're stood in the dock, maybe if they've already turned police informer. I don't know. I really don't know. My guess is he's been caught for something, or I don't know. I don't think the guy's that stupid. I think I don't know. My guess is he's working for the police, but again, I could be totally wrong in that. But time will tell when people go to court and who turns and who rolls over and who doesn't.
Yeah, that's it. That's the point. Here we are. There's just any questions? Come on, people. I thought I was going to get quick fire sessions. Come on, hurry up, Sean. Answer this. There is a pattern in NFAs. Yeah, join the puzzle. There is a pattern in it from what we've seen in the NFAs. But this is the whole point, which I'll point out again. This is what got me and made me think definitely there's something going on here. It was when he said he'd produce his full acro. Now, I don't know about you, John, or anyone else, but when someone says they're producing that full acro, they mean the NFAs as well. That's included. That's a full acro. Not I'll take out me NFAs. Not I'm going to take them away. Where, again, he keeps on doing this, all the time. Mencho, ask a proper question and I'll ask it. So that's what I find. There is a pattern there. Whether he's guilty or not is another question, but it's suspicious the way he's carrying on.
But you need to say it yourself, right? I mean, there's been guys and women who's been put in jail who have been innocent. And, sometimes I don't think the sentence is big enough for people who cry it, because it screws everything up for the genuine cases of it. Now, I've learnt a lot in the last 4 years. I didn't know about trigger warnings. I've never had any sexual abuse or anything like that. So having triggered, I didn't understand the word triggered. And then no until you're close to somebody and they will explain to you what going through intense psychological treatment and trigger warnings, and even like Doc coming on and telling a story with Alec Kearney that night on the official, that triggered a lot of people. So, because all it takes is one little thing and it will trigger a person off and put them back to when that could have been 20, 30 years ago. There's a chat tonight that I'm not going to mention. The person's going through intense therapy right now, and and he's seeing this person out here pretending that this has happened to him, and knowing fine that he's just stole a story off a little bit off this person, a little bit, and concocted his own story.
Well, I know that. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we have to get these questions out, John, because if each one takes too long, people start moaning at me. Are the pages for acro online different sizes to pages that come in physical form? I don't think they are they?
No, the only thing between the Scottish and English acro is the Scottish government are tighter with the paper, because I think
they cram it all on,
or something. It's just depends.
If you see the English one and you see the Scottish one, because I was surprised when I saw you Scottish one, I thought, blimey, they squash it right up. Everything's just squashed right up. Whereas with the English one, everything's spaced out and they go in, it looks like they're going into more detail, but it's just that it's longer and more spaced out. So you could get a Scottish one, and if say 6 pages long, if you had the same one, that was the English acro. you're talking about it would be about 12 pages long. That's how, oh, well, not 12 pages, it would be about 10 pages long. It's longer. Anyway, there was another question which, oh, yeah, it was about where are you in Thailand? Like, oh, yeah, here we go. It's
I'm in the Cambodian jungle.
In Cambodian jungle, and you're going to photograph the monkeys, aren't you?
I'm feeding the monkeys, and I'm getting, I'm chasing a few gorillas not during the day. But at the end of the day, I'm not on the run. I want to obviously keep my place. You know, at the end of the day, I like some privacy, and it was good while it lasted in Scotland. But yeah, I'm on the run. If I was on the run, if Paddy, I've actually stolen a lot of money off drug dealers and everything. I mean, if that was the case, you know, you think I'd be that stupid to put myself in bloody YouTube and probably be in places that these people probably visit now and again. You know,
Yeah.
the place I'd be was.
But do you know this thing? Talking about this, where Declan suddenly made which made me go cold. He's made the statement that he was a victim of. I have to be careful of the words we use. When he was a child of an adult being inappropriate to him. It's the way he says it. You know, John, you can tell a lot by the way. I'd have to say, when I remember, won't go over again, the VIP in Parliament and all that. So I know all about this subject. I know all about the subject of CSE, CSA, all about it. And you can tell very quickly, and I was never wrong when I did this, when someone's making things up. And I think it's the most disgusting. It's as bad as saying that you've got cancer when you haven't.
Yeah. When you haven't.
It's the way he came out with it. It was too blasé. It was all this, that, and the other. And usually when someone does that, you think, wait a minute, that's the one that, what's his name, Gary Glitter did, didn't he? I was abused. Well, do you know what? If you wear, it makes it worse because you know the damage you're doing. That's the way I see it. It makes it worse. But yeah, it's the way he came out with it. People don't do it like that, John. They don't do it. They have different ways of doing it, but they don't come out with it so blasé and use it as an excuse. That was used in the situation of an excuse to deflect from him. Whereas people who are genuine survivors would never do that. They'll talk about it well before if they're going to talk about it.
I think that was his kind of one of the guys that managed them told me before he left them. Something happened to him as a kid, but I was the only person he'd ever told, and I went, I know exactly what you're going to say, and he went, what? And I told him. He went, how do you know that? I said, because such and such told me, such and such told me, and he was so angry because up until that point he'd believed him, and he believed that he came out with this big sad story, and he said he was the first person. And he said, even though I'm not working with him, I've went and done this Sarah's Law and everything, I would never repeat what he's told me because I swore that I would never repeat it. I said, you don't need to tell me, I know. And he was so angry at the thought, you made me swear that you would never say anything, and I gave him half a dozen names that told me that he told them the exact same story 2 years previous there.
So Mark's
don't talk about Anne. Somebody that's been abused, will be able to tell if somebody's lying. Because
you can tell, and there was a page that I've said before, especially during the kickoff in 2014 and 15 and onwards with this, you couldn't question anyone. And I said, no, that's exactly what you've got to do. Because if you start finding that you've got, these people are anything but survivors, they're actually perpetrators, you're going to have trouble. And what happened, John, exactly what I predicted happened. And I'm not saying that as a brag that I predicted it would happen. Look at me, I'm right. I could just see it coming. I could see it coming a mile off because of the way the idiots wouldn't question anyone. But anyway, Marcus just asked someone, are you on the run, as Decker says, from Heavies, from Wales? I thought you took early retirement to Thailand.
No, I'm not on the run, mate. No, I've never been in any trouble with any heavies, and I hope that may continue. But I've nothing to hide for any heavies. Or if I think about it logically, if I was on the run from any heavies whatsoever, you would never put your face on YouTube. You would never put your face on social media. You'd never have any to do with any social media. You know, it's like I have got a thumbs up from a lot of these people
Yeah.
that you speak of. You know, so maybe that's what gives me a wee bit of power out here. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Well,
I'm
Joe,
just, uh-huh.
I just want to ask Joe something. Joe, what did you ask? I can't find your question.
I can't see the chat on. Hang on to see if
I
can
know
see it.
Joe Lindsay, but he says like attracts like that. All I can say, that's not a question, isn't it? Is it? That's a statement. So what can you ask? I hate to be a pain, but can you ask your question again, and I'll make sure he sees it. Yeah, I missed Joe's question. He says he's asked a question, but I can't
Can't
find
see
it.
it, Joe. I just want to give Rob's wife Sharon a big shout out. I don't know if she got her plaster off, but I hope you did, Sharon. I know. How,
Oh yeah. Did you see that one he said about his wife's watching Sharon? Hello, Sharon.
Yeah. I just seen it there. I just had a wee look there on the chat. When I look in the chat, because I'm coming through StreamYard, I can't see the screen. Who we got? I'll have a wee look. Miss M, Billy, Big Billy. We are the people. You certainly do, Humble. Well, there you go. Big Billy knows me from a long time, and he would certainly, if I was in the run for any of these heavies, you know, there'd be people know things, and I don't need to be in the run.
So about this, people make up their own little conspiracy. Just think of it, John. You're a conspiracy now. Isn't that exciting? You're a conspiracy.
I know.
Isn't it
Who'd have
great?
thought it?
Yeah, I've been a
Who'd have thought it?
conspiracy. I don't know how many times. It's like God. I wish I was so lucky. So
I mean,
interesting.
now I'm a Masonic CI5 double agent of higher powers, you know, like Illuminati or some bloody thing. The only reason Paddy's never in the Masons because he could never keep a secret. Simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. He could never keep a secret.
Oh, now, John, the Masons don't keep secrets, do they? They're all open, and they just do it for charity. Ooh, they're so loving and caring. It's like, oh yeah. Of course you're
Yeah,
right.
imagine somebody nominating Paddy to go through. I mean,
Oh, good God! And you know, it's just like, I mean, it's like no chance. Not getting in there.
no.
I'm not a Mason myself, but I know about the Masons. Having worked with the police and been in the theatre, and know about Masons, and they don't like loose lips, do they? They say.
But Paddy'd be standing there in his third degree looking for the goat to come through the door, kind of like begging for a wee shot of the goat.
Oh, good God, that'd be funny. So, hey, well, speaking on triggering, are you? Oh, here we go. Speaking on Trigger and Humble, are you willing to bury the hatchet with YouTube Incognito? I've heard that name, but I've never seen Incognito. Or what's that about?
I've never heard him. Don't know who he is.
I've heard the name Incognito, but I've never heard.
I've never been. The only people I've really got beef with on YouTube, you know about them now, and that's Paddy Decker, and a few people that's doing a lot of bullying down in the South Shields. Basically, that's my only beef with anybody on YouTube now. So I'm only doing it because I've been contacted with that many people in South Shields, like elderly women, grands, and you know that they're actually terrified. I mean, one of the videos I done last week sent with 13 or 14,000 views, and I've deleted one comment off it just because of the racist slur it was on it regarding an Asian guy that Davy Headslope get done with, and it was the way they'd worded the Asian guy, and that's the only comment I've deleted off it.
Yeah.
And it shows you. Yeah, the amount of views and the amount of likes, but the less comments it's on, it shows you people are liking it but scared to comment, which I totally get.
Who's this you're talking about again, John? I missed that.
This is the carry on down in South Shields, on.
Oh, okay. But I was saying
Davy Headslope and Paddy Conroy's right hand man, basically.
Well, I can't work out. Right, just someone explain this to me now.
I'm just lighting a cigarette.
So put your thing on. That's it. So on YouTube getting at me. Yeah, this is what gets me about. God, you need something good looking to look at, people. You need something.
I know.
Here we are. Here's something sexy. Oh, go on. Feel free to have a fantasy. Go on, feel free to have a fantasy. Anyway, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, about the views that Paddy's getting and all this. I don't know. It's like it's just the same thing again and again and again and again. The subject doesn't change. It's the same thing. Someone's sitting in a dark shed. I don't know whether people are watching it for ASMR, to relax and go to sleep or whatever. But it's a mystery. It's just like it's like
That's a
watching the same film again and again every night. And it's like, wouldn't you get bored? Because I'm well bored. I don't even know what he's going on about anymore because I gave up ages ago. I thought it's just the same repetitive thing going on again and again and again, which was strange. But he's successful, isn't he? But again, as for what do you think about this, John? I was saying the other day about TNFG, about Decker Heggie. When you actually look at the views he's getting, then you look at the comments in the live chat. He's not liked. They're not watching because they like him, are they? They're watching because they can't stand his guts, basically.
There's 1,000 people in his chat last night, and I reckon probably 900 of them were really disliking him. Really, I seen the chat turning so quickly. Because at the end of the day, he thinks his own viewers are stupid. He's insulting the intelligence of what fans he's got left, and that there's nothing worse when he's upsetting the last of what's left.
Yeah,
because he's insulting their intelligence. He's calling them liars as well.
Well, this is it. It's just people, and you see people. This one also gets me. I don't know why. It must be a form of low self-esteem when someone starts putting comments on, oh, you're fantastic, you're the best one, and all this business and all that. I thought, why do you need someone to hate a wish? I can't understand. That's another thing that used to happen with these campaigners against VIP that were doing nasty things to children. They'd all be getting told, oh, you're wonderful, you're fantastic, you're brilliant, hate a wishman. And it happened to one, Simon Danchuk, an MP. One, I said, I knew about Simon Danchuk, I knew about him. And I said, be careful here, people. I said, you can't trust him, he's doing this for money. And he made SHIT loads of money out of it and out of going on about Cyril Smith and all this. Claimed he outed Cyril Smith, he didn't. John Walker did in the 1980s, so that was a lie. And I just knew, and I was trying to warn people, and then I heard about Simon Danchuk, that he was texting what I got told, young girls. This is the man that's against, that was going on about helping victims of these horrible paedophiles who were preying on them. God, I said the word, I shouldn't have said it. But anyway, what happened was, the upshot was, I got tipped off, said he's given curious emails or texts to young girls, I was told. So I got right onto GMP and said, you need to look into this. Give them the due, because GMP can be so corrupt, like most forces with their MPs. Straight away, they got onto him and he was questioned over it. And they got back onto me and they said, she's 17. And I said, but I was told girls, not girl. They said, well, the one we've seen, she's 17, and it hit the press then. And I was attacked from all sides. Like, how dare I do this? Because it got out that I was the one that found out about it and got it to the police. Anyway, these same people that attacked me, do you know when he turned round, Simon Danchuk, and stood against, I can't remember his bleeding name. Do you remember the Labour leader that everyone was, oh, he's wonderful, the socialist one? You know the Labour leader. Oh, come on, people. Someone in the thing, you'll tell me I'm out. Me thing, you're going. What was he? Well, I'll wait half an hour now for someone to respond because they're having little chats on themselves. Why can't I remember his name? Well, anyway, he stood against him, then they all turned on him. And I said, so that's great. You turn on him now just because he's taking a political stance against him. I said, but him go with the young girl and all that. Jeremy Corbyn, thank you, Spooky. Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh, Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, he turned against him. And I tell you now another thing, Jeremy Corbyn, my backside, when he turned around, he was talking on the television. He was in a debate with Boris Johnson for the, when the general election were coming up. And I remember that old git standing there and saying, "This is Jeremy Corbyn. I feel for the victims. I feel for the victims and all this, right? Shall tell you now, I know 100% he knows what was going on in Labour, because it's not just a Tory thing. It goes on in Labour, goes in Oldham, and he turned a deaf ear to it all of it, the old diff. So that's what happened over that. So
It's similar to what happened in Scotland with Nippy Sturgeon with Alex Salmon.
yeah. It's disgusting. They all ignore it, but it's the way they hero worship. So people don't hero worship anyone, because
I mean, a lot of people that don't live in Scotland who were shouting for independence who don't live in Scotland. But if we'd been independent when COVID hit, yeah, I'd have hated, because what grants and that we did get came from Westminster. I don't know. We would have never have survived COVID as an independent country. And now you see what's happening with Nicola Sturgeon's husband getting arrested there for fraud last month.
they're all bent.
Yeah, it's like,
Hey, well, what's this?
they're all at it.
Here we go. It's a good one from Stephanie. That's Stephanie, yeah. I've been back and forth with this Decker situation. Last 2 days, he's ruined any cred he had with me. The walls are closing in for him. I've heard a few people saying that, you know what he did to you the other day? They saw it and it was obvious. And so that event has backfired on him, where he cut you off.
It's got other people angry now, and because the people who probably had sitting in the fence have went like, "Whoa, what are you doing? You've got an open invitation here for a debate, and anybody who debates with you is just getting kicked off."
Yeah,
it's like that's no debate. It's no debate.
It's just, that's it. But he's playing games at the moment, and this is what I'm saying is, if you look at him, he knows he's going to be found out on his lies, and he doesn't care. I think he knows he's got nothing to lose.
I think he's out his barnet, and to be honest, I think whatever he's swallowing and sniffing, I mean, it was clear as day that he had a sniff at something through in the hall last week. It was clear as day. You could hear him going, yeah, I know how he snorts into his socks and everything, which was
God.
I've never seen anything like it, picking a sock up and blowing your nose into his sock. I mean,
well, this is another thing. He knows people are going on about that, so he's actually using it, and it's this business. Now he does that, and now he's for some reason saying, "This is just the thing that gets on my nerves," when people start saying the same phrase at the end of every sentence. Man, bro. Oh, I hate bro. Ooh, man, bro. It just sounds so dumb in the head. God forgive me for saying that. I shouldn't say it, but it's just one of the things.
We're all forgetting one major factor here. His boss, his dad, is sitting either through in the living room, supporting. Let's be clear about this. His mum. He tried to prime his mum up to cover for him when he spoke about what was on his Sarah's Law, because he told Rhonda to go and do one, knowing fine what was going to come back, but he thought he could maybe. Rhonda had his back up until that point, and I thought he thought he could prime his mum up to speaking to Rhonda, and his mum did say, if you get done with this again, you're not going to get away with it this time.
Well, the thing is, right, and it's like today, someone's just saying, Roger, I think I saw that, wasn't it? One of his followers, and he was cut off. This is what he's doing. He's just, I say, playing games with people. But is Papa covered for him? I remember that clearly when he was supposed to appear outside the hospital at the fruit stall, and Moto went down there, and so did Making Gains.
Making Gains went there. Motorsports went down. Who else? Was Video Craig on his way? I can't remember. I remember the dad saying he'd been stopped with the police, and Decca was told no to go. I mean, when did the police stop you and say you can't go and visit your mum in the hospital or take your mum to the hospital? It's just ridiculous, absolutely bloody ridiculous. But he managed to bluff people.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is say, yeah, but his dad then went down at the wrong time, filmed it, and claimed there was no one there, so his father's covering up for him. But Andrew Bates, I've got a couple coming here, so try to be quick with this one. Andrew Bates, John, can you repeat for the record? Stecker Heggie is never met your wife, well, partner, or because he claimed to have slept with her.
That was his first thing. He was telling people, because people were saying, well, why is this Scottish guy got it in for you if you don't know him? He says, oh, it's because I've slept with his wife. I've gauged his wife it. But then he came out about 2 months ago and said, I've never met his wife. I've never met him. You know, it's just. But Decker's brother Barry is also happy with his accounts to come in and say, it's only because he's gauged Humble's wife it. If that was the case, how did it take him 3 years and by my say so to know her name?
I've
He
spoken.
he's
Look, let's put
had
this
Donna
way.
named every Donna and Marion and Sally under the sun.
Look,
He
I've
didn't know
spoken. I've spoken to Donna, and I'd be very surprised if Decker was airtight. Very, very surprised if it was airtight. I just would be extremely surprised. Here we are, Jane Spencer, someone.
She's too smart for him.
Here we are, John. Did you ever find out who Apollo was? No, I know you didn't like Apollo, but I liked Apollo actually. I did like him. I'm sad he's gone because I did like him.
Apollo, I never ever knew who he was. I never ever found out. The only person that I knew was somebody who had a proper disliking for Burkett, and he opted to go fair play man for Apollo to meet at that park with Ellis and Tony, and Ellis pulled a double bluff. He pulled a double bluff. He was never going to go at that park in time. The address had been put out there. They asked for a new address. Burkett wouldn't answer the phone, and Ellis. And the reason I know it is because I was playing the middleman, trying to arrange it without putting it out on the internet for a safe fight, no weapons or anything. And when I was speaking to Ellis, the fair play man was messaging him on WhatsApp, and he was trying to phone him, so he screen recorded it at the same time I was chatting with Ellis. And I said to Ellis, you've pulled a double bluff, mate, and at this point you've won it, but it will come back to bite you in the backside. So I don't believe a lot Paddy says, but I believe he did take a kept gun or a cat gun to Paddy's farm to go.
Yeah.
I believe that because I know what cowards they are. I believe that did happen because they took a sword a run up and down the country. They stopped and seen motorsports and McDonald's in Glasgow, and the sword hanging out a bag as clear as day to see in the back of a Corsa. I mean, and they were meant to be going to Montrose to do all this damage with this sword. I mean, I don't know anybody stupid enough to run up and down the motorway with a sword in daylight, plain to see, to the eye, and do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And get away with it.
Here we are. I don't know. Is that the real Dougie Joyce? Someone saying that it looks, I don't know. But anyway, it's a question. It's a statement. I was in Decker's backstage earlier, would not let me on. Video will be released later, similar to yours.
It probably will be,
night.
Dougie, because his channel's been shared his channel a few things, and I think probably they've got a story to tell as well.
Well, Dougie,
Dougie's child's
just
name.
Let's say something right. Let me put my pretty face on because I can tempt people when they see my pretty face. If you ever want to come on and do an interview with me, Dougie, I'll do an interview with you because I love talking about these traveller singers and I keep on getting in trouble for it. People go, I'm saying.
He's calling out Dougie the night as well, but it was like he's calling Dougie, he's saying, Ken, I want Humble back on tonight. I'm not going back on. I'll go on somebody else's platform, i.e. Diamonds or yourselves. I'll go on anybody's platform. I'm not interested in having it in mine. I'm not interested in the numbers, but I'll go on anybody's platform with Decker, page for page, with Acros. Yeah, if he's no control over deleting me.
He won't do it, John. You know what? Or what he'll do? Tell you what he'll do. He'll delete some. He'll go on. I doubt he'll go on, but if he does go on, he'll go on. Then take himself out of it and say, "Oh, look at that! They kicked me out." So
he's just trying to get digging all these guys to make a move on him. So again, he can run to the police and get like another few charges flung at people that he's done with a few people in the past. That's all he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do with Alex Kearney. He's been trying to do it with motorsports. He's been trying to get everybody to go to his mum's house so he can shout that they've came to my mum's house, and then get you charged with breach of the peace or kind of a disorderly. That's what he's been doing it for years. I mean, it'll take time, but slowly but surely, everybody will see what he's all about. They're seeing it now, but through time you'll see it all about there someday.
Well,
But
here we are.
to answer your question, whoever, he's never met me, he's never met Donna, he's never met anybody even related to me. He's never met anybody. It's
He
just
could
a
have
big
met
lie.
me, you know. Do you know he could have met me?
Well, I think
Do you know what? You know when he did that documentary in Liverpool?
yeah,
And he went to where the young boy tragically was stabbed.
yeah.
I'm not far from there. And so he could have met me and we could have, had a little, we could have had a little cuddle and all this. I could have brought out the good in him and stopped him lying and all that.
What he done with that woman? Yeah, and remember, she was doing it all for her son.
Yeah.
And a friend who just had a child. What he done to the Lady Patterson, I believe, is it? Patterson. Was it Patterson?
Mm.
Knife. Yeah, anyway, what had he done to her? And she was absolutely disgusted at the fact that she'd let him in her house on the sofa with her girls and that. She was absolutely disgusted. And
it was Emma who got, but we have to thank Emma for that.
It was actually Emma Cockrell
who
contacted, because Emma contacted us and said, I know this woman, she said, but I don't know what way to approach her. Because
she was blocked at first, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I said, she said, what do you advise? I said, well, to be honest, I don't want to contact the lady at the Blue, because Decca's got me doing this big bad troll lying who slept with my wife and all the rest of it. I said, so I'm the wrong person for it. And I said, Emma, if you know her, she will listen to you. And that's basically what started. So yeah, it was Emma Cockrell who started the ball rolling with that. But the lady went on a check on him, and she was absolutely fuming. And what did they do to pay respect back? They put the knife crime documentary back up when she was asking for the documentary to get pulled down, because she didn't want her son's memories served under the head of this prolific sexual predator. I mean, but that's what he does.
That's the things he does, isn't it? Someone saying, are you going to be staying where you are, or are you going to be coming home at any point? When you're not, are you? You've said you're staying away now.
Yeah, I plan, and I'm not too sure. I mean, it's a big wide world out here, and I'd advise anybody, when you get to the stage where you can do it, go and travel the world a bit, because until I came here, I'd only been abroad twice, and I was never abroad. My grandparents were never one for going abroad. We had beautiful countryside in Scotland. The furthest we ever went was Ireland. So I was in my 30s before first time I went abroad. I went to Spain, Calella. I've been to Rotterdam once or twice.
Did you say Kalara, India?
No,
Kerala, sorry.
We used to go to Burtonport, Donegal, 3 times a year with my grandparents. They loved it. They were friends with Daniel O'Donnell's uncle and auntie Josie and Sissy. That's basically where they went 3 times, and I loved it as well, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Southern Ireland as well. So it is.
Oh God! Well, my mama came from
beautiful.
There.
We used to go to the crowning of the Queen every year in Donegal. It's the crowning of the Queen. They have a week festival. We used to make it. I mean, the locals, 99% are a staunch Catholic background, and they're all lovely people. Yeah.
Well, this is it. I used to find with I say my mum was from County Wicklow, and absolutely beautiful, stunning scenery and all this.
Yeah.
But I've told this before, I met the King of the Gypsies. I didn't know at the time that I thought when my mama used to go to King of the Gypsies, she was making it up. But I actually met the King of the Gypsies, and kids were allowed in pubs. I don't know what he was with. But kids were allowed in pubs. We used to go into the pubs, and this big fella, John should see him. He was like a mountain, and he's pulling the cash out all the time and all this business. And so anyway, he put me on his lap, because I was only about, I think it was about 7, something like that. He put me on his lap and was having a laugh, and then got me some orange juice and set me on my way. And Mum said, oh, she said, you're privileged. She said, you just sat on the lap of the King of the Gypsies. And I was like, Is there such a thing as a king of the
Yeah, can you?
gypsies? Yeah, yeah, that's it. But oh, it is a beautiful country. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I've got to
it's
go there.
beautiful one.
I've got to go back next year. Actually, we'll get back onto the topic. Don't worry, people. I've got to go back next year because it'll be 100 years to the date that my mama was born. So I'm going to go back to her hometown to mark the centenary of her birth.
Nice one on.
So anyway, Lee Froch. I hope I pronounced that right. That sounds like a German, doesn't Froch or Norwegian?
Sorry, I've no glasses, so I'm scanning in about you.
How can you take the high moral ground? Humble.
I don't want the high moral ground. It's like I don't care who takes Decca down. I really have no interest as long as somebody. It's not a case of taking them down. It's putting them where he rightly should be, which is in prison. Anybody that's going about touching kids and that shouldn't be on the internet. It's simple as that. And I know it's all allegations, but it's my understanding he is what he is, and it's only because of what I know. I don't want the moral high ground. I've no interest in it. I'd be quite happy to turn YouTube off tomorrow and never put it back on again. And so would probably my family that's no speaking to me that because it. But then people have got to learn about it, and they've said to me, I can see why now you can't walk away from this. That's what it is. And I know you hate me saying that, and it is what it is, but it is what it is. I can't. You can't walk away. You can't walk away from it.
No, it
It'd be wrong of me to walk away. It'd be wrong of me to walk away. I never signed up to protect women and kids. I'm neither trained in it or experienced in it. But can we get labelled without to protect women and kids? I never ever signed up for that. But when I give my word to somebody, i.e., that people are sitting terrified with the curtains shut, when I give my word to these people, if I give my word to somebody, my word's my word.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I say. When you give your word to someone, you've got to actually see it through because that's what makes a person.
Yeah, well, that's just the way I was brought up on.
Yeah. Hey, what's this? Oh, going to watch. People keep on this about going to watch Donna's reading of the 55-page acro. Get the crime reference number and ask. I know what I thought you were going to say then, DMT. I thought you were going to say because I love her voice. I hear people saying this. I love her voice. I love Donna's voice.
She's got an absolute lovely voice, but I keep kidding on. She's a compulsive eater. And if I get married to her, I'll never be able to carry her over the threshold. But she's got a beautiful voice. So when I close my eyes at night, I could.
So that's what did you say was the reason you went with it? Because you needed to get some people and she could speak something.
I remember watching a movie. It was something about a brain. I can't remember the title of it. And it was about a guy who worked. He was a chemistry or something, a surgeon or something, and he fell in love with her brain. The brain started talking to him in a jar, and it had the most beautiful voice. And that's basically, when I fell in. It was a voice that got me, and I thought, you're buggery. You're going to be. I mean, I'm not the biggest of guys in the world, and I'm thinking you're going to be a big beach whale here, but no. I'm blessed.
But yeah, so anyway,
nothing against big heavy people. I'm nothing against them whatsoever. I'm just I'm like 12, 13 stone. I just wouldn't suit.
Do you know, I don't understand some of these questions. It's like in a language I don't understand.
Speaking in riddles like me.
Tumble. Why are you the person who works towards that? What's that? That's not a rude word, is it?
The person who works towards the martyr.
What's that?
I don't know what you're getting at, mate.
Does it mean martyrdom, as in a martyr, as sacrificing yourself for a cause?
No, I'm not. I just listen. At the end of the day, the only person that I believe will ever judge anybody is God. So, but that's me. But it's only the internet, isn't it? I think you need some sort of control or out there on it. You can't have people that if it was some delinquent 17, 18-year-old getting caught in a scheme, the windows would have been put in, they'd have been tortured, they'd have been put through 10 addresses by now. And that's basically where we are. It's because this person can go out there. Like somebody says, how's he not in jail? Well, I said to him, look how he can shout people like Matt Leggett, like Alex Kearney, like an ex-Marine soldier, or your boxers. Look how he can shout them out and try and manipulate that. Imagine being a victim of them. I've seen him victim shaming people that's got lifelong anonymity, and he's come out and mentioned their full name, put them down as far as he could go, blamed them, and then he's never been arrested for that. So
Well,
what's the point of having these laws in place?
Well, this is the thing. The police can be really, really lazy. But Jane Spence said one thing. Am I wrong, or did Humble and Donna come on a camera? The one where you're walking down the road and you've got like a filter on your face, haven't you? It's glowing.
Yeah. I was playing about with filters. So I've actually got a video somewhere on my channel of 3 of me. So basically what I did, I stood in my kitchen one day, I put a t-shirt on, and I made a young version of me. I put my jacket on and made the version of me now, and then I put myself at 70-odd-year-old, so I was like grandpa, dad, and son. And then I had people like Cumbrian Truth. I mean, I want to clear this up as well, right? So that boy's in jail. He got recalled. Seemingly, there was 2 Scouse people and a Scottish guy who phoned up his probation officer. Now, I knew that boy was getting used from the beginning, yeah? I also know that it was Burkett that put half the words into the boy's mouth, yeah? I had no plans of ever getting that boy jailed again. If anybody that made statements against that boy, yeah, was Paddy Conroy's wife, for rightly so. He was threatening to burn down the farm. She was living there at the time in the caravan. She didn't deserve that. She's got every right, like Donna would have, like Anne would have to go out and make a police statement, yeah? Donna has never made a police statement regarding Decca. However, she did opt to help victims of him to put forward to the police if ever wanted. And she made that to the police. I have never made a statement about Decca Heggie to the police because it's nothing personal. And as for getting Ashley Douglas recalled, it's not in me. If I was going to have that part in me, I wouldn't be in the internet.
That was someone reporting him because he was in hotels and all that, wasn't he? Because
you've probably got about, I don't know, 500,000 Scottish guys. I don't know how many watch them. Yeah, I can guarantee I could go and take any lie detector test. I had never phoned up Ashley Douglas' probation office, police or anything about any. I was trying to find them in hotels.
See, what people forget is Ashley did get a lot of on people's noses, and they'd watch his lives. It's like there was one where he was in at a motel or whatever it is, and he was smoking in the room, and someone snitched on him, and he had to get out the. And actually, the way the woman spoke to him was disgusting. The way she spoke, I wouldn't have anyone speaking to me.
Ashley Douglas, unbeknown to a lot of people, Ashley sent me a lot of stuff on Messenger and showed me all the things that Burkett was telling me to say. He showed me all the messages that Burkett had sent him. And that's why I just put Burkett on the back burner. I've got nothing against Ashley Douglas was getting used. He was feeling, he was, but the pair boy was upsetting that many people, something to hide in hotels.
Yeah.
I'll take any lie detector test. I would no interest in putting that boy back in the jail.
Well, we've got that down there now because it's not. But he did do a lot of things that got up people's nose. So he has to take. As I say, if you go out there doing things like that, you have to take the.
If I had anything against Ashley Douglas, he's in Durham. I've got a lot of friends down that side of the country, yeah, and it would only take one call. I've no interest in getting the boy hurt. It's water under the bridge to me. At the end of the day, if I get told he get recalled because he went and took a drugs test with his probation officer, and then his probation officer never get back in touch because the drug test come back as positive, which he would.
Get off that subject now because you're going on too long about it. Right. So, with respects, Tumble, surely all this is not good for your mental health. Now, I've said this to you before in the past when you've got really intense. Is it really odd from what I can see? Now, I've seen sometimes I've thought you're getting too much involved in it. And I've had this conversation.
You're right. And at the time, what you didn't know was that, like in the space of 5.5 months, I lost 3 people. 2 of them, one person who brought me up, another person who was like a brother to me, my uncle was like my best friend. We were very alike. And I lost whilst all that was going on. I never told anybody apart from like maybe Steve Rafe or somebody. I never told anybody I was actually grieving. So my mental health was taken a battering because I was going through the grieving process, but putting my head into YouTube. And a lot of people were concerned about me. But again, I don't like if I was to show you exactly where I am right now, you would say I'm a big-headed arsehole, and that's what I don't like, because there's people out there struggling. I don't want to be boasting, showing off and all the rest of it, because there's nothing worse than being an absolute dickhead, just showing off to people. But I like to also show people who's maybe struggling with addiction that it is possible to get out that dark hole if you put your mind to it. I mean, if there's anybody proof to that, is me.
Well, the thing I know, I remember at one point I thought, "Oh, this is getting." It was really getting. You were getting so intense with it, and I had to go at Donna, didn't I? I said to her, "Donna, what are you doing? You know, stop them doing this, stop them doing it," because I know, if it was my situation, I'd be like, right, I'd smash your phone, I'd smash your laptop, I'd smash everything, and say, right, get off here because it's getting too much. But you've sort of got your equilibrium back now. But as you say, people didn't know what was going on in the background, did they?
There's obviously people that I miss in places, you know, that I miss in Scotland, right? But, and to be honest, looking back, I should have came away maybe November last year. I should have came away because, like, sometimes you need a change as good as a change is as good as a rest. And it wasn't until I actually got away, when they wheels left that airport in Glasgow, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to leave everything that they got me down on that track there. And that's the way I've thought about it since. And I realise now I was probably suffering from a good bit of depression, but as that used to it, that I didn't know I was depressed. And I suppose a lot of people go through that, but I'm not going to come on here and start saying I had mental health problems and I was depressed and that, because that was my own doing.
Well,
you need to get out it yourself.
Tia Louise has said here, John, you told Ash to hang himself. Now, I remember that, didn't you say? You were that annoyed.
Yeah, you're right, I did. But what you have to remember, while I'm saying that, he's saying that he's got to be coming and raping my wife and all the rest of it, my kids. Yeah, so when people were saying that, I'm listen, I'll call a spade a spade. When I'd reason to believe somebody who was once friends with was partly responsible for getting a window put in my house and petrol poured over my car, I told him I wanted him put in prison and graped, because that's what I was feeling like at the time. I was angry. He knew I was not in the house. He knew my missus and kid was in the house herself, and that's the way I felt at the time. I need to stand accountable for what I've said on this internet. Do I regret some of it? Of course I do, but I'm only human. If somebody's threatening to come and rape my wife and all the rest of it, go and hang. I mean,
people forget this. I'll just say this to Tia, right? Cumbrian Truth could say some nasty things himself, very, very nasty things. So, you know, if you're going to prod people like that, expect it back. But Lee Froch, I hope we get on you. I said, I can't make head and a tail of why you're continuing to have a platform on YouTube where you play the police and seem to be a law on yourself. Now, what saying is, you know, you're the one that's. I wouldn't say you're policing YouTube, are you? I don't think you are.
I've never claimed to be an angel either. Never ever claimed to be an angel. I'm never going to be one because I don't know. I've got my beliefs, but what I don't like bullies. I don't like people who's basically out there. Right in front of you doing things and terrorizing people. I just don't like it, and criminals do not like it. When you come against scumbags who are thugs, criminals don't like it. The police don't like blood on the streets because they've got unlimited budget if it comes to a murder or something. They don't like it, and it's got a domino effect in every single thing that happens out there. So I've never claimed to be on a moral high ground. I've never claimed to be. I'm just a normal bloke who, if I don't like something, I think I'll come out and say it.
You're intense with it, aren't you? That's it. That's the difference. It's not. Yeah. It's an intensity. That's it. You want the end result, and if you don't get the end result, you won't. If you feel strong enough, you won't give up, will you?
I strongly believe in what goes round comes round, and you know, it's like I don't know. I don't want to be the person responsible for Decca Heggie going to court and getting sent down for life. I don't want to be. I don't want any. It was Humble. It's that I'm not interested, because Humble was never one person. It was a consortium of people, and we called it a team. There's no I in team. However, I did, after I gathered some people up who helped me, I did say I would always put my face out there and protect them, and that, I've done that to this day.
Yeah. But just let's see this. Charlene, I'll look into that later. I'll check to see what's. I think I was asked by Moto and I forgot, but I will check.
David.
later.
I think David Milne had asked me as well, and at some point.
Yeah.
If you...
I'll look at, because remember I looked for him and I was getting loads, but Moto sent me his thing. So we'll source her out. Don't worry, I will source her out.
But it's like me and Anne will never agree on everything, but
No.
we will speak about things because Anne maybe come with a point, and I'll say, well, fair play. That you're right about that, and can sometimes you can never have people agreeing with everything, because that would be wrong for a start. You need somebody that's going to challenge you and things and question you and things, and that's what I like about Anne. She's very good at getting under your skin. She's good at it. You're very good at it, Anne. I tip my hat off to you.
Oh, I know. I always used to get told. I remember my mama used to say, "You'll grow up with a face like a prize boxer." The way you go on, said, "You just know what buttons to press, don't you?" She said, "You know what buttons to press." But yeah. But the thing is, what is sometimes I'll see something and I'll think, "Oh, I don't like that," so I'll tell you. I'll say, I don't like. Someone might be going on in the background, and you'll think they're okay. And I'll say, I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's something up there. It's just feelings, basically, isn't it? But anyway,
it's a bit like Paul Ellis. I was hoping to mention him again, and then he's went and made a video there. Yesterday, somebody sent me it today, and I looked at it and I went, "You cheeky swine, you!" So again, I had to just correct him a couple of things, but I was hoping not to mention him again. I was just hoping he'd just go away with his love of his life, and but again, he's prodding away there at motorsports. It's got to end in tears. Motorsports has got to probably end up in the bloody jail because he's getting set up for a fall, and then he's got to end up up there. I mean, at the end of the day, he's staying up in Glasgow now. He should be thinking of his girl and her kids, because I know plenty of people from Glasgow. I was brought up in Ayrshire in a small village, and it's a different. It's a bit like some of the schemes in Liverpool, and some people will just, it's like.
Oh yeah.
You can only try and. But when he mentioned me, I thought, wow, he's up there sneaking about behind a wood. And I don't see eye to eye with Ronda at times, a lot of times. However, a guy sneaking about there up in the woods, close to where she stays, knowing she's living herself, that's just a creepy thing to do. It's like when they went to Ashley's Cumbrian Truth's mum's house, that boy was. I was raging. I was trying to kill Ashley Douglas at the time.
Well,
and I'm thinking, you've went to his wee mum's house here. I'm not fine that the boy's not there. And videoing it.
Let's just put it this way, right? When that happened, I think most people were like, "What the hell is going on here?" And do you know who's the one that was outraged and screaming about it and going on that she was offering Ashley's mother's support to Ashley's mama was so upset. Don't you? It was, and then suddenly she's in bed with one of them. And it's like
and making sure that if anybody wants to write to Ashley, all the letters were to go through her. Any money that was going to Ashley, all the money was, and she was going to be the love of Ashley's life when he got out. By the way, And then the next thing, but at the end of the day, least soon as mended there, and least said soon as mended.
Well, this is what got me right. He was going on about it. I think I've said this before. There's something totally messed up with these people, and he was saying going on. He was with just before he got with Paul, I think it was, or he just got with her, and he's on Lindsay Kilpatrick's comments, and he's going, about me trying to stand up for me, saying, my wife, my missus, sorry, not my wife, my missus was had to come off YouTube and all social media because that was Kelly Davis he was talking about, right? And I thought, wait a minute. And I asked on your channel, didn't I, one day? I said, Kelly, said, he's making out that you're in a relationship with him. You have been for 2 years. And she turned around and she went, oh, I can't remember that being said. And I thought, no, you'd say, no way, would I go with that? But it's so messy and seedy, and you don't know what to believe or what not to believe.
I've got messages there from a girl from the end of July last year. and he's actually. I'm actually quite disappointed in Ellis because I actually thought he was all right at the beginning.
Oh no,
But
I never did.
as times went on, maybe because like his grandpa can RAF, ex-RAF, his brothers have done well, but he is a fucking scumbag. Excuse my French. He's just a scumbag who
What it
is
is-
going to end up in serious trouble.
He's a compulsive liar. He went for me because I stood up for Johnny Woodsman, because I won't have anything to do with Johnny Woodsman. He gets on my nerves, but at the same time, he can't be held responsible for the way he carries on. He just can't.
No, he's mental
So
health.
you just vote him. But he went for him, Ellis. And that's how I felt out with him, because I did a video saying, this is way too much. And then I got it, and it was all lies, intimidation. And you even say anything about Beckett, and he's threatening people.
And he said in his video, that there's humble dryer out there paying victims and that to make up evidence, and I'm thinking, wow. And him and Paddy, all they've done is damage it, and I'm thinking the biggest person to have damaged this, is yourself, Cyclops, and the man in the shed. Yeah, exactly. The man in the shed claimed to be the first person ever with Decaheggy's acro. But yet he's saying that I've hacked the acro office. The guys, anybody that's seen the acro online acro application is down. It's been down from the 31st of March. It's nothing to do with anything that's happened out here in the UK. It's because of a breach from America. Go and read don't listen to the conspiracies. Go and check up the facts. Go and ask if you just Google why is the acro application system down. It'll tell you there. There's been a breach of security from America. Now, it's because they're trying to get... I've always said, someday somebody will hack or somebody will leak wiki files or something, and they will leak all the police informers and all the super grasses who's under getting a gyro from the police. That'll be leaked onto the internet someday. It's only a matter of time. A matter of time.
Just let's say something to Kit Katsy, and then I'll get on to you, Lee. I know Lee doesn't like you, but
I don't mind. I'm not here.
But they're asking questions, and they're important questions as well. But before just ask that, Lee, Kit Katsy said Beckett has something on Ellis. No, I don't believe that 1 minute. I think all that Beckett and Ellis has done from day one. Now it's funny I said this from day one, and other people are saying the same thing now. Beckett is desperate to be a gangster, so he wants to hang around with tough guys, what he perceives to be tough guys. He thinks Tony is a big tough fella. He thought, Paddy with his fanny dog is a big with his little chihuahua is a big gangster.
Tootsie.
Tootsie, yeah. Oh, lovely, poor little thing.
Is Tootsie no? Is that no a terminology used for a gay man in women's clothes?
I don't know. No, Tootsie Bar in America, wasn't it? The Tootsie Bar.
Listen, I'd love to ask Paddy the question.
Look, right.
I'd love to ask the question between him and Bill. There's something on there.
Look, as I say to you, I've said to Paddy, come out with me and the girls. I'll get him a lovely frock. Get him a lovely wig. I'll do his makeup for him. I'm telling you, be a hit.
Is that right, Bill? All right.
I tell you now, he'll find the man of his dreams. He will within 5 minutes. The man of his dreams. He will treat him like the lady he longs to be.
Well, Anna, I think you would bring him more satisfaction than his imaginary wife. He's got imaginary Christmas cards and all that there for his kids. I mean, he's got everything, but we'll never. You could imagine he showed me his triad thing. You remember the triad ornament?
Oh, the £20 ornament. That was expensive.
The £28 ornament from Amazon. And he said he got it from his triad king who was breeding wasps.
Why would anyone breed bleeding wasps? That's what.
Well, that's what I was trying to get my head around. Why wasps? like bees, you can see. I know bees who do the royal honey. It's really expensive. I know guys who does that, and they would put you to sleep because they're that eccentric. But however, you know, they do know what they're talking about. It's just no making a thing. When he started talking about breeding wasps in a prison and
It was weird.
with that
But
brass
anyway,
ornament, the hollow ornament, the triads.
Lee has asked this, Tumble, surely life is for more things, happy things, and all this negative presentation. Now, I'm going to say something on this, right? I've always got hinged on this negativity where it's this word negative
Negativity is
presentation,
brilliant,
right?
man.
Do you know, shall I tell you something now? And I keep on saying this, positive thought never won a war. Yeah, all the great generals were all what we call bipolar now. We're so negative thinking and they won the wars, because I tell you now, you don't go in to a war and win it. When you're going, oh, isn't everything wonderful? I feel absolutely wonderful. Look at these beautiful flowers. Oh, I'll only look at the nice side. Negativity can actually get you much further in life than what positivity does. Positivity just keeps you in one place. That's how I think. You need a mixture of the two.
If I like, I'm like, if we go or something, I'm the first person there saying, calm down, stop getting wound up. Don't let this wind you up. You know, I don't like friends falling out with friends, and I'd prefer to make a friend and break a friend, you know, where, like, I wish I could speak out of school, but I can't. But yeah,
what
it's
it is,
negativity. It's not all negativity. I mean, people will say, oh, I'm fed up with all this negativity, but we thrive on it. And it's in between it, you'll get some kind of what this tonight, speaking to people, that's positive.
yeah.
That if you want to
thing
put positive videos out all day, nobody will watch them.
I've said this before. You put out positive and people will go to sleep. They just don't want to see. They want to see
They're not interested.
But I think what it is when you've got what I call the Gallic temper. Now, I see this in my Irish relatives as well. That when they'd go, when I don't know what it's about this Celtic sort of personality, when you get upset by something, or something you think there's an injustice going on somewhere, you really go for it 100% on you. There's no half measures, where English is more the sort of like the measured way you do it. Usually it's like, oh, let's do it the business way, everyone get round the table and let's not point fingers, let's cure the situation. But I know that Irish and Scottish people tend to, which I think is the best way to do it, the preferable way, is they point to the finger at where it needs to be pointed, and they'll go and address that issue straight away instead of going around the houses so that no one feels uncomfortable, you know, that way. I find that. So I think that's what you've got. You've got the Celtic spirit in you, John.
And can I have it 5 minutes and then I'm off? I'll tell you why, because I promised I'll go in with Simon at I'm on 12 here. What time are you on?
It's 6:30, John. So you've got hours.
I'm on with Simon at 7 o'clock. So we've got.
It's 6:30. Oh, actually, no, it's 6 o'clock. You've got an hour. Yes, you've got an hour before you have to go on Simon's. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it.
It's 22 minutes past 6, and you're blagging me. I was just testing you there.
What do you want to go on Simon's for? I mean, when you've got excitement here, you've got interest. Born an old Simon.
I promised Simon that I would go on with him for weeks, but it's like because of the time difference out here. It's like I've missed going on to the odd live exposure because of the time difference. By the time he goes on, it's like bloody 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Exposure. And if I'm up early in the morning, I'm waking up like that. You know.
Did you see me notes I told you about exposure, Asbo TV? Did you see me notes?
You've got a secret. You and the Expo user got an item.
I'm telling you now. I've told you you're not supposed to have social intercourse with people like that. I'm telling you, they're not au fait. They're not. He's someone that talks into a jam jar is not supposed to be the ideal person to hang around with, John. Oh God, Simon's here. No, look, Simon's just confirmed it's. Oh, don't worry, Anne. There's an hour to go. Tell John not to rush. So there we are. You've got that. He said not to rush. You stay here. And so Simon's quite all right.
Anne's got a secret deal with Simon. You can tell I've been talking in the background, so I stay sober here and don't go into Simon's ranting and raving. We'll need to get another live with Motorsport some night. I think he's due back out in a couple of months. So we'll need to get we'll get a shots live going on, right? But you need to join in with us.
I will do, but I'm telling you now,
we'll
Kelsey,
go shot for shot, right?
Kelsey, just let me, my chief moderator, Kelsey, let me tell you this, right? I was gracious enough to let you have some leave yesterday. I was gracious enough to grant you that. When I say it's 6 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock, right? It's 6 o'clock. Anyway, so I'll let you go, John, but that was fascinating. And yeah, I'd love to.
I just want to thank everybody in the chat for going easy on me tonight. I thought, here we go. We're going into
I thought it was going to be.
I'm going to get persecuted here,
but even though that there was one there, and he was very polite with the way he said it. You could tell he wasn't a thing, he wasn't a fan, but he was very, very polite, which is the best way to be. But when we get on with Moto again, you've got to be drunk again, because
we need to do shots, but you need to join in with the shots.
I will do.
At least have 3 or 4.
I will do, but what I'll do is I'll
send you a bottle. I'll send you a bottle of tequila.
Oh God! Oh. Not that's up with the little worm. Anyway, I'll let you go to what's his name? I can't remember his name. It's someone unimportant, isn't it? What's his name?
Is it Simon?
Oh, that's it. There's so many of them out there, you know.
He stood you up, man. He stood you up. I know he's a bad man.
Stood me up. We'll have to kiss some butt to get me back in.
I'm telling you.
Anyway, so all jump over to see Simon and John together, having a discussion about Decker Heggie. So
he sent Decker the link, and I've been nipping at Decker all night. I mean, surely a big man like that will have the gahoonies to face a couple of.
But anyway, Winston, what's my Timple on? I don't drink. I'm good. I'm getting ready to go into heaven with no sins, no vices, nothing. In other words,
I wish the fuck I could say the same, man. I can swear at this time in the life. I wish the fuck I could say the same.
Hey, it's like Paul. Quickly before you go, it's like when it was with Craig yesterday and Chrissy, and they're sitting there. Would you? And I'm saying, let me buy you something. But they wouldn't let me buy them a drink. They kept on wanting to buy drinks, and I wouldn't eat it, which you don't, John. I very rarely.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's changed over a new leaf since the night I met. We were out in Newcastle. I don't think he put his hand in his pocket once.
Oh God! So
I must have bought about 30 shots between us, man. Well,
I know.
Anyway.
There we are, Minto. We'll give the final say to Minto. Simon.
Simple Simon. He's been nicknamed Simple Simon, but he's not all that simple. But Simple Simon's quite good.
Anyway, John, thanks for that, and we'll do it again. We'll come up with another reason to have another live, because you're brilliant on lives, you are. So, and everyone, thank you.
Next time we'll have a drink for you, Anne, right? Because I'm a wee bit more. I've got a wee bit more character in me when I've got a couple of.
Oh yeah, when we and Moto get together and you're on, you've got to be drunk.
Moto on his blunts and me and my wine.
Definitely have to do that. So take care, John.
Thank you very much for having us on, and thank you, chat. Thank you, mods, lovers, haters.
Bye bye now.
See you later, bye. Bye bye, guys.